Hi, Stephen Hasselhoff, alias The Hoff. You're listening to Akira The Don. Stay tuned.
Akira The Don.
He's got clout. People want to know how to stop the laziness, and they want to know how to stop the procrastination. They have some idea in their head, you know, some kind of a vision of what they want to do, but they don't know where to start. And so they say, hey, where do I start? And when's the best time to start? Where do I start? And when's the best time to start? Where do I start? And when's the best time to start? And I have a very simple answer for that. Here and now. That's it. Go. You want to improve? You want to get better? Go. You want to get on a workout program or a clean diet? You want to start a business? Go. You want to write a book or make a movie or build a house or a computer or put together some mobile application? Go. 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 Where do you start? You start right here. And when do you start? You start right now. Right now. Right now. You initiate the action aggressively. You go. You want to improve? You want to get better? Go. You want to get on a workout program or a clean diet? You want to start a business? Go. You want to write a book or make a movie or build a house or a computer or put together some mobile application? Go. 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 Go.
Akira.
He's got clout.
If you can keep your head when all about you are losing theirs and blaming it on you. If you can trust yourself when all men doubt you, but make allowance for their doubting too. If you can wait and not be tired by waiting, or being lied about, don't deal in lies, or being hated, don't give way to hating, and yet don't look too good nor talk too wise. If you can dream and not make dreams your master, if you can think and not make thoughts your aim, if you can meet triumph and disaster and treat those two imposters just the same, if you can bear to hear the truth you've spoken, twisted by knaves to make a trap for fools, or watch the things you gave your life to broken, and stoop and build them up with worn out tools. One heap of all your winnings and risk it on one turn of pitch and toss, and lose and start again at your beginnings and never breathe a word about your loss. If you can force your heart and nerve and sinew to serve your turn long after they are gone, and so hold on when there is nothing in you except the will which says to them, hold on. Hold on.
forest fires. People have been trying to prevent forest fires for a long time. It's because forest fires burn up the forest, and that can't be good. But here's what happens if you don't let forest fires burn. Forests collect a lot of dry branches, right? Because tree branches die and wood falls on the forest floor and collects. The amount of flammable material keeps increasing with time. And that's not so bad if it's wet, but if the amount of flammable material is increasing and it gets really dry, and then it burns, then you have a real problem. The forest fire can burn so hot that it burns this topsoil right off, in which case you don't have a forest at all anymore, you just have a desert. Dead wood. Dead wood.
Must not fear, must not fear, must not fear, must not fear, must not fear. Fear is the mind killer. I must not fear. Fear is the mind killer. Fear is the little death that brings total obliteration. I will face my fear. I will permit it to pass over me and through me. And when it has gone past, I will turn the inner eye to see its path. Where the fear has gone, there will be nothing. Only I will remain. I must not fear. Fear is the mind killer. Fear is the little death that brings total obliteration. I will face my fear. I will permit it to pass over me and through me. And when it has gone past, I will turn the inner eye to see its path. Where the fear has gone, there will be nothing. Only I will remain. What's in the box? What's in the box? What's in the box? Pain. Pain. What's in the box? What's in the box? What's in the box? Pain. Pain. What's in the box? What's in the box? What's in the box? Pain. Pain. What's in the box? What's in the box? What's in the box? Pain. Pain.
I believe that most human beings are only living at about 40% of their capability. The mind has a governor, like a car. If you're driving a car and the car has a governor on it, the car may say 130 miles an hour, but the governor's set for 91. Once that governor sets in, you get to 91, that car starts doing this. The car wants to go. The car wants to go, but that fucking factory said, we're not going past 91. We have a factory, a nice governor in our brain, and it's a survival mechanism. It protects us from pain and suffering. The second we feel that shit, our mind says, oh no, this isn't fun. We should back off. We should sit down, find something more comfortable. And there's something about the mind. The mind has the tactical advantage over you at all times. At all times of your life, the mind has a tactical advantage over you. Why is that? It knows what you're afraid of. It knows your insecurities. It knows your deep, dark lies. And it starts to push you away from that shit. It pushes you in a direction that is comfortable. The mind controls everything. The mind controls everything. The mind controls everything. So what I realized was that when I was growing up and I was 300 pounds and I got all fat and I got all insecure, I realized that my mind kept taking me in this direction when things got uncomfortable for me, when I was facing my insecurities, I was facing my fears, my mind said, oh no, we have a tactical advantage. We need to get you, separate you from this feeling. Your life's all about feelings. You want the happy feeling. We don't want that feeling of this sucks. Why am I here? So you can't answer those questions, so you leave. I started realizing that if in that moment you can answer those fucked up questions and you are now in charge of your brain versus your brain ruling you, that's where all that stuff comes from. So the 40% rule is all of that. You get to 40%, your brain says, we're done. The mind controls everything. We're done. The mind controls everything. That's cool, man. This is starting to get painful. This is uncomfortable.
Life starts in being born in Belarus in the former Soviet Union. I came to the U.S. when I was 3 years old. We were very, very, very poor. I lived in a studio apartment with 8 family members, and my dad and my mom, as you can imagine, are very much my heroes. My dad worked every hour of his life being a stock boy in a liquor store. I was a very entrepreneurial kid. I was day trading attention from a young age. I had 6 lemonade stands when I was 7 years old, and I would spend all my time trying to figure out what tree and what pole to put the signs on because I was watching people drive and trying to figure out what signs. I was a very sick child. When I was 12 and 13, I was selling baseball cards, which were very popular in the United States at the time, and I was making $1,000 to $2,000 a weekend selling them in the malls, which was great, and I was rich for a young kid, and it was fantastic. But then my career changed. My dad dragged me into the liquor store, and I hated it at first, but luckily I realized that people collected wine. I was into collecting sports memorabilia. That was my passion, that was the connection, and I decided that I was gonna jump into my family business, open up 4,000 liquor stores across America, sell the franchise one day, and buy the New York Jets, because that is my dream. Buy the New York Jets American football team. That is my dream. Buy the New York Jets American football team. In 1994, I was in my dorm room in college. My friend came over to me. He brought me into a room. It was the first time I heard cooch, which was the internet. I was very excited about it. I didn't know what it was. I said something stupid like, is this the information superhighway? I looked at it. This was 1994. I literally stood there and watched people on the internet for 5 hours. It was that crazy. It was just that insane. It was, and when I finally had my turn to go on there, within 20 minutes, I landed on a message board where people were trading and buying cards, baseball cards, and I realized, my God, I can do business on this thing. Because that is my dream. Buy the New York Jets American football team. That is my dream. Buy the New York Jets American football team. Because that is my dream. Buy the New York Jets American football team. That is my dream. Buy the New York Jets American football team.
Talking about combining skills, you said that you should learn to sell, learn to build. If you can do both, you will be unstoppable.
You know, this is a very broad category. There's 2 broad categories. One is building the product, which is hard, and it's multivariate. That can include design, that can include development, that can include manufacturing, logistics, procurement. It could even be designing and operating a service. It has many, many definitions, but in every industry, there is a definition of the builder, the seller, 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 the builder, the seller. The ultimate is when one individual can do both. That's when you get true superpowers. That's when you get, selling has a very broad definition. Selling doesn't necessarily just mean selling individual customers. It could mean marketing. It could mean communicating. It could mean recruiting. It could mean raising money. It could mean inspiring people. It's a broad umbrella category. Generally, the Silicon Valley startup model tends to work work best when you have two founders, one of whom is world-class at sales and one of whom is world-class at building. Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak at Apple, Gates and Allen with Microsoft. There's a builder and there's a seller. The ultimate is when one individual can do both. That's when you get true superpowers. The builder, the seller, the builder, the seller. The ultimate is when one individual can do both. That's when you get true superpowers. The builder, the seller.
You once said that if you were growing up in this generation that you would have a field day because you would take their souls. What do you mean by that?
That's when you get true superpowers.
The younger generation quits. Not everybody. So I gotta put it. People get their butt hurt. So not everybody. Most of this generation quits the second I can't talk to. It's so easy to be great nowadays. Most people are weak. This is a softened generation. So if you have any mental toughness, any ability, if you have any fraction of self-discipline, the ability to not want to do it but still do it. And I hate to run. And what makes me so crazy, people go, well, why do you run if you hate it? What are you talking about? I don't want to take showers and eat either. I hate that too. That's life, man. It wasn't until I changed that mentality that I became somebody. I hated going to school, so guess what? I was dumb as shit. 1 + 1 is 2. But if you can get through to doing things that you hate to do, on the other side is greatness. 1 + 1 is 2. But if you can get through to doing things that you hate to do, on the other side is greatness. On the other side is greatness. 1 + 1 is 2. But if you can get through to doing things that you hate to do, on the other side is greatness. On the other very scary situation when you are on one side of the door and your mind is racing because on the other side of that door, it could be no one. It could be 4 guys with 4 AK-47s. That door you're about to open could be booby-trapped. So once you open it, boom, your legs are gone. There's 1,000 things you think about when you're the first guy, second guy, third guy, getting ready to go in a room and flood it. And that's why I talk about the warrior mentality. And that's why so many people are lost when I start talking. You have the right. You're lucky that you don't have to think like warriors think. You're very privileged. I chose this world to be a warrior. To be a warrior. To be a warrior. I chose this world to be a warrior. And I would choose it again if I came back to this world. I stretch out every day for these 2 hours. I don't drink. I don't go out. My regimen is I wake up, have oatmeal, run, come back, hit the weights. I'm a big sports guy. I don't leave the house at all, but do stuff like this. And I stress out at nighttime. I find people that I trust. It's a very small group of people who are honest and true to me. People who will die for me, and I'll die for them, which is a fucking small. And everybody else, man, do you. And I say to myself, I let you do you. I don't judge people. I don't criticize you. You want to be a douchebag and be an ass and not live this country? Do you. Do you. Do you. Do you. I don't care, man. I fought for this country for you to do you. And I am all about you doing you because I'm going to fucking do me. And I'm going to do me until I'm fucking dead. And I believe I earned the right. A lot of people haven't earned the right. Just because you live in this country, I mean you earn the right. You gotta live a little bit. Live. And then have something to say. Or shut the fuck up, Shut the fuck up.
Journalists in Japan call it Jiji Muge. Jiji Muge. Between event and event. there is no block. And they represent this imagistically as a network. Imagine a multidimensional spider web covered in dew in the morning. And every single drop of dew on this web contains in it the reflections of all the other drops of dew. And of course, in turn, in every drop of dew that one drop reflects, there is the reflection of all the others again. And they use this image to represent the interdependence of everything in the world. You see, it takes two. We could have so much fun, but it takes more than one. You see, it takes two. We could have so much fun, but it takes more than one. She don't want it.
I would first ask the kid, who are you? At the core of your soul. And if he can't answer that question, our conversation's over. I can't say shit to him. If you don't know who you are, I can't tell you who you are. Who are you? If you don't know who you are, I can't tell you who you are. Who are you?
Honestly, I'm blessed enough to have survived the life I lived and to come out the other side with a bunch of knowledge. So hopefully I can help people that believe that they're much less than what they truly are. Help them find greatness in themselves. And greatness, running 200 miles at a time or doing flips or being a SEAL. Greatness is whatever the hell you dreamed of in your own mind. You gotta first see it. You gotta first create this vision in your mind. And then that's when I come into play. Once you create this vision in your mind, it's how am I gonna get there now? And that's when I come into play. But first you gotta create your own vision. And it's not external. The vision created is inside of you. So until you create that, I'm nobody to you. If you don't know who you are, I can't tell you who you are. Who are you? If you don't know who you are, I can't tell you who you are. Who are you? Who are you? Who are you? If you don't know who you are, I can't tell you who you are. Who are you?
You're either on the offense or defense. You're either on the offense or defense. I think a lot of people think they're in the middle, in a transit. You're only on the offense or defense. I've realized that I've been on the offense my whole life because I never felt entitled to anything. An incredible thing happens when you're born with very little. You know, I was born in the Soviet Union, we come to America, I live in a studio apartment in Queens. My parents bought me 6 toys in my entire life kind of thing. We took 1 family vacation in my entire life. When I wanted Nintendo, my mom looked me dead in the face and said, good, go buy it. On the flip side, she reinforced things that came natural to me and made them the most important things. While I was getting D's and F's, and every other immigrant parent was making their kids get A's and B's because they thought that's what mattered, my mom was accelerating anytime that I showed compassion, anytime I showed empathy, anytime that I showed gratitude. You're either on the offense or defense. You're either on the offense or defense. I think a lot of people think they're in the middle. You're only on the offense or
Down below there, we have the shadow, as Jung calls it. It's like the blind spot for ego. That about yourself, of which your ego is completely unconscious, of which it has no knowledge whatsoever. This shadow, in Jung's terminology, corresponds almost precisely to the Freudian unconscious. The Freudian unconscious is constituted of repressed experiences, repressed shocks. And it is these shocks that have set up the slant, the posture, the structuring attitude of the individual to life. It's these that constitute the personal unconscious. The shocks that will have upset and transformed the life experience of one person will not be precisely the same as those that will have done so for another. And so the shadow is the order of what Jung calls the personal unconscious. On the other hand, the self is a function of the biology of the body. We have two things here. We have a basic human biology, and we have then a system of individual experiences, both in the unconscious realm. It's out of those centers that dreams come, that dreams come, that dreams come. It's out of those centers that dreams come, that dreams come, that dreams come. And dreams, of course, will be primarily personally oriented. They will have come from the shadow system mostly, but the shadow system rests on the deeper ground. When we come to myths, the imagery is out of the general system. And Jung speaks of two orders of dream. There'll be one order of symbols that you can interpret by personal association, the free association technique that Freud used. But there will be then other images in your dreams at certain critical moments in your life that you cannot interpret through personal associations. They will be strictly mythological in their character. On the other hand, you can have dreams that have to do with personal experiences that are quite peculiar to yourself. And these Jung calls the small or little dreams, and the others the big dreams. Often big dreams occur in technicolor. It's out of those centers that dreams come, that dreams come, that dreams come. It's out of those centers that dreams come, that dreams come, that dreams come. It's out of those centers that dreams come, that dreams come, that dreams come. It's out of those centers that dreams come, that dreams come, that dreams.
When you were given the VFW award recently, and you were listening to people that had impacted you, and you got to your mom, you couldn't even speak.
Yeah. It almost chokes me up now.
So I get the VFW award for the Americanism Award for military service and giving back. I'm as human can be. That's why what you see is what you get.
Akira.
At that moment when I was giving my speech, and I thanked my uncle for being there, and I got to my mom, it wasn't just about her. It was, I know what she went through, I know what I went through, and we got knocked down so much. I had a moment in front of all these great American heroes where I had a chance, it was like so fast, it went through me like lightning, of I can't believe I'm here. I can't believe I'm getting an award like this. That kid who was in the fetal position the majority of his life. And so much the fact that my body, my hip flexors are tight to this day, that even though I was standing erect, my mind was in the fetal position. And when I looked out amongst all those people, it was a sense of pride that I can't even explain. It's the moments of 3 hell weeks. It's the moments of in that room by myself studying. for hours and hours and hours trying to catch up with all the kids who are above me. It's just those moments, like the real, raw moments of life that was like, boom, hit me, and we're gone. But I was like, I did that, overcame that shit. You know, it's like, this is power behind all that shit. And that's the feeling I was looking for in my life. I found it. It wasn't money, it wasn't fame, it wasn't awards. It was that feeling I have right now. The feeling of I'm about to break down, but it's not of like, oh my God, I'm upset. It's like I worked myself so hard that I turned a person this fucked up into this motherfucker right here. Not off of reading a fucking book off a theorist. Off of going to work on myself and saying, I don't know how to do this, but I know that to get over there to that fucking side, I gotta grind myself into a fucking fine powder. And I did it. I did it off a sure will. And very few people will know. I let people. Very few.
I don't know about that. Some of them maybe, but I think some of them just don't have discipline. There's also an issue with momentum. You're not used to doing it. It's not a part of your life. It's not something you're accustomed to pushing yourself. There's been many days where I didn't want to work out. I just didn't feel like I had the energy, and I just forced myself. And I think there's very few people out there that know how to force themselves. That's a learned skill. You have to have like real rigid requirements of yourself where you don't allow yourself to back out of things. Akira. The Don.
Do something. Do something. Do something. Do something. Do something. Do something.
Excuses are a giant part of the problem. It's not simply a physical health issue. There's also mental aspects of it, and discipline's a big one. I just know way too many people who are weak mentally. I can't just chalk it off to only the way they physically feel. Because I felt like shit 100 times, and then I worked out, and then I felt way better. It's just a fact of life. That's real.
Do something. Do something. Do something. Do something. Do something. Do something.
People don't know how to do that. And if you're used to that, get in your car, sit down, drive to the office, sit down, go to the lunch, sit down, go to the board meeting, sit down, get in your car, sit down, get home, sit down, then go to the gym. Fuck off. It's one thing if someone has a legit physical issue, but there's a lot of people who do not. They just have poor diet choices, they have a sedentary lifestyle, and they have the momentum of this sedentary. They're accustomed to being lazy. You don't have to do a lot, you just have to do something. You walk up hills, you jump a little rope, you take a little tiny kettlebell, you do a couple cleans and presses, you do a few push-ups, you do a few sit-ups, you get your blood pumping, you're moving, you're alive. To say you don't have enough energy to exercise, that is crazy to say. Can you walk to the fucking refrigerator? Yes. Well, you can exercise.
Do something. 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 Do something.
You don't have to do anything crazy. Just walk around the block. There's 80-year-old ladies who take yoga with me. They're fucking really old. And they're in there. They're going after it. They can easily say, I don't have the energy to do that. But they don't. It's a mental attitude. They make a decision. To kill yourself, you don't have to go to a CrossFit class and try to do the workout of the day. You don't have to go nuts. You don't have to do that. But you have to do something. Just get your blood moving. Your body has requirements. It wants to move. It wants to move. And when it does, you feel better. But people like to give themselves this excuse. I do not have the energy to do this. Yeah. Whatever. If you decide that, that's true. But if you watch a motivational video, there's 100 of them on YouTube. Thousands even. Go watch one, you get fired up, you're like, fuck it, I'm gonna jump some rope. You jump some rope, do something, do some push-ups, do something. You feel better.
Do something. Do something. Do something. Do something. Do something. Something. Do something.
Pull that shit up, James. We have fucked up lifestyles. The human body is not designed to sit down all day. And it's certainly not designed to be stuck in traffic and be in an office and just be in front of a fucking computer monitor watching your soul get struck through the LCD screen. It's crazy. We gotta be really careful with just the way we describe things. It's like I say, I don't have the energy to do something. Fuck off. Stop.
Yeah, what up? Yo, what's cracking? Hey, shouts out to everyone who's been locked in. This is unplanned activity.